Why the hell are 4,000 warplanes parked in the middle of the Arizona desert? From above, it looks like a city. Endless rows of fighters, bombers, and spy planes, stretching for miles across the sand. But nobody lives here. Every machine you're looking at was built to fight a war. And every one of them was sent here to die. This is the Boneyard. And the truth about what happens inside it is stranger than anything you've imagined. Officially, it's the 309th Aerospace Maintenance and Regeneration Group. Everyone else just calls it the Boneyard. It sits on Davis-Monthan Air Force Base, on the edge of Tucson, Arizona. Spread across roughly 2,600 acres of desert, it holds nearly 4,000 aircraft, worth, by some estimates, more than $35 billion. It is the largest aircraft graveyard on planet Earth. And there is nothing else like it anywhere. So why here? Why the desert? It turns out this exact patch of Arizona is almost perfectly engineered to preserve metal. The air is bone dry, the humidity almost non-existent, so the aircraft barely rust. It rarely rains. The soil is hard alkaline caliche, so heavy bombers can be parked straight onto the ground without sinking, and without paving a single runway of concrete. The whole site sits 2,500 feet above sea level. Put it all together, and you get a natural deep freeze for warplanes, where a jet can sit, untouched, for 30 years and still be brought back to life. It started at the end of the Second World War. In 1945, the military suddenly had thousands of bombers it no longer needed, B-29 superfortresses, the same type of aircraft that ended the war in the Pacific. They had to go somewhere. The dry fields outside Tucson were chosen, and the planes began to arrive. What started as a parking lot for a finished war slowly became something much bigger, the place where America sends its air power when its time is over. When an aircraft arrives, it isn't just abandoned. It's processed, almost like a body. The guns and ejection seat charges are removed. The fuel system is drained and flushed, then filled with light oil to stop it rotting from the inside. And then comes the strangest part. Every gap, every intake, every window, is sealed and sprayed with a brilliant white latex coating they call spraylat. It reflects the desert sun and keeps the inside cool, which is why, from the air, so many of these jets look like they've been dipped in white wax. They aren't dead. They're sleeping. And some of them wake up. The Boneyard isn't only a graveyard, it's a parts store and a resurrection machine. Mechanics walk the rows pulling components that are no longer made anywhere on Earth, keeping the active fleet flying. Other aircraft are pulled out, refurbished, and returned to service, sometimes decades after they were retired. Old fighter jets have even been stripped, rebuilt, and flown again with no pilot at all, turned into target drones for the next generation of weapons to practice on. But the Boneyard has done something far darker than storage. In the 1990s, under the START treaty with the Soviet Union, the United States agreed to destroy hundreds of its B-52 nuclear bombers. And this is where they were killed. A 13,000-pound steel blade, a guillotine, was hoisted by a crane and dropped onto the aircraft, slicing each bomber into 5 clean pieces. Then the pieces were left out in the open desert. Why? So that Russian spy satellites, passing overhead, could photograph the wreckage and confirm, with their own eyes, that the bombers were truly gone. For months, the chopped remains of America's nuclear fleet lay scattered across the sand, on display for the enemy. Peace, verified from space. Walk the rows today and you're walking through the entire history of modern air power. Cold War B-52s. Carrier fighters. Cargo planes the size of buildings. Spy planes that flew higher than almost anything ever built. Some are worth a fortune. Some will never fly again. And a few are so secret that the government will not say what's inside them, or why they're still here. It is, in every sense, a museum that the public was never meant to walk through. So can you actually see it? For years, you could. Bus tours ran straight through the rows, taking visitors past the silent aircraft up close. Security tightened over time, and access comes and goes, but the desert can't hide something this big. From the right hill, or from a passing plane, anyone can look down and see them, 4,000 machines, lined up in perfect order, baking in the sun. The Boneyard is the strangest kind of monument. Not built to honor anything, just the place where the most powerful war machines ever made are sent to wait. Some to be reborn. Some to be cut apart for an enemy to count. All of them quietly turning to history under the same relentless desert sky. 4,000 of them. And almost nobody knows they're there. If this rewired something in your brain, subscribe, because the world is full of places exactly like this. And we go to all of them.